It had nothing to do with me nor Kurt. Them bitches was coming at you about your... because they had too much ammo for you.
Don't act like you didn't say that.
I wasn't there. And I damn sure ain't gonna come to somebody about they...
Could feel the tension in the room. What should have been a routine taping of the popular reality show was actually a storm building beneath the surface. Despite the presence of the crew, bright lighting, and rolling cameras, in contrast, Yandy and Rasheeda felt as if they were the only ones involved in a long brewing dispute. With everything else fading into the background, Yandy had always been a strong woman, but the stress of even though she had always been at the center of their drama. It had never been this intense or personal, and now that it was all on display, she felt as though everything was falling apart and that her composure was being tested. Although Rasheeda had been Jan's friend and confidant for many years, Thea had never had an easy relationship with MDC. Undoubtedly, Rasheeda and M had a link. A shared past that had always simmered beneath the surface. But when Mendeecees started dating Yandy, things started to alter. At first, Rasheeda tried to be supportive, but she soon began to doubt M's dedication and the decisions he was making. Now, knowing the cameras were recording every second, Rasheeda's words pierced the air with a sharp and cutting edge, and Yandy could feel the fire rising in her chest. It wasn't just the typical playful banter had been a hallmark of their friendship, and it was genuine. Over time, Rasheeda's contempt for Mendy's decisions had increased, and she was no longer holding back. Instead, Yandy seemed to be the target of every glance and remark, as though her relationship with Mendy was somehow a personal betrayal. "Will you actually sit here and keep him safe, Yandy?" Despite Yoon's rage, Rasheeda questioned incredulously. "You're still going to act like he's your knight in shining armor after everything he's done?" It felt like an attack on Rasheeda, as though she were doubting her judgment, her decisions, and everything that had brought her to this point. "Why do you always have something to say about subjects?" Rasheeda had never hesitated to criticize M and blame him for their issues. Although Sejong's words were clear, the pain and annoyance she had been suppressing made her voice shake. "Sit here and try to act like you know what's best for me. I'm the one who has to deal with his past, baggage, and mistakes. Too much time has passed since this connection began." "Poured forth," Yandy yelled. Rasheeda rolled her eyes and laughed. But Gandhi wasn't done yet. She had reached her breaking point. This was no time to back down, not with her life on the line. "Though you've always held opinions, you've criticized me and him from a distance, has never been in our position." The two women were at odds, and Yandy responded, her voice getting louder by the second. "You don't know what we've been through, what I've had to forgive, and yet here you are acting like you have all the answers." In an atmosphere full of verbal abuse and unsolved problems, Rasheeda's presence in EMS life had stoked a deeper rivalry and unsaid jealousy that had been simmering for years. "There were others participating now besides me." The remarks felt like a smack in Yandy's face for a brief moment. Rasheeda's eyes widened in rage when she responded, "You think you're the only one who's had to deal with this mess? You think I don't know what it's like to be in a relationship with someone who's always making mistakes? And he's hurt both of us, and I'm tired of seeing you pretend like he's changed." "You're letting him drag you down, Yandy." She wanted to lash out and scream at Rasheeda for all the anguish she had caused. But she refused to give anyone the satisfaction of witnessing her break inside, since the world was watching and the cameras were on them. Instead, everything seemed to be collapsing. M's error, despite your best efforts to keep things together. Rasheeda's persistent meddling and the chaos that had always encircled them made it feel like the dam was about to burst today. They started arguing, and their voices became more and more angry. The crew watched the accusations unfold in the background, unsure of how to step in because they understood that they were seeing a partnership fall, a protracted struggle for respect and dominance, that there was ultimately no clear way to resolve the problem. Yandy took off running, weary and frustrated, while as the cameras continued to record the fallout. Rasheed's rage simmered beneath the surface, but for Yoon, the true battle had just begun. M and Rasheeda weren't the only concerns. She also had to figure out how to handle her life's mess and whether she could trust anyone again, even herself. There are rumors that Maisie is bored of referring to Yandy as his wife and has given up on her efforts to keep her family together, his genuine love. This man may have been married. Yandy's pride is the only thing that has kept her in her marriage. And it appears that she has lost all self-control since Mendy moved in with Erica. In addition to accusing me of offending Erica, Yandy is telling her to break up with her partner, or when they meet. If you haven't heard of this tea yet, sit down and allow me to explain. Mendeecees was freed earlier this year after serving time in prison for drug-related offenses. During his incarceration, Yandy managed everything on her own with Mendy's assistance, doing everything she could to maintain the family's unity and strength. After all the sacrifices and labor she had done while he was in prison, we all believed Yandy would finally be able to enjoy her marriage. As they say, once a cheater, always a cheater. Rather than giving Yandy back for keeping the family together, Mendeecees chose to move on to Erica, Yandy's fiercest rival, in case you missed it. If you have followed the relationship, you will notice that Yandy and Erica have been at odds for years because Mendy is unwilling to set boundaries with her. For a long time, many members of Yandy's triangle have been in denial about her marital status, even though she knows that Mendeecees hasn't been completely honest with her and is still seeing Erica. Her arrogance and vanity make her think she is the only woman in his life. She is excellent at seeming as though everything is fine, but we all know that things aren't as they seem. Erica was with M long before Yandy arrived. When things weren't going well, Mendy needed a caring and trustworthy friend. Erica was one of the few individuals he truly loved, Samantha said. Erica claims that she and Mendeecees had previously shared a home, taken trips together, had similar passports, and even had the chance to meet his entire family. She was so devoted to him that she assisted in caring for his first child while Samantha wasn't present. An intelligent strategy for the future. Even after he married Yandy, Mendeecees remained in contact with Erica, now that he is out of jail and has a stable job. He reportedly moved out of their home and split from Yandy to begin a new relationship with Erica. I don't believe Yandy deserves the abuse she's receiving from Mendy, say, because she kept him down, handled all of his problems, and became entangled in baby mama drama. He told her without hesitation that he was married for obligation and not love. He also acknowledged that if their roles had been reversed, he never would have supported her or kept the family together the way she did for him. She tolerated his mother's nastiness while working hard to raise MC's children.
Nothing to do with me nor her. Them bitches was coming at you about your because they had too much ammo for you.
Don't act like you didn't say that.
I wasn't there. Now damn sure ain't gonna come to somebody about they.
Mendy felt that something needed to be done. So he went to his mother, Judy. Judy unrepentantly claimed that she had been provoked to defend her behavior. Mendy was convinced that Judy had gone too far and told her, "I love you, but I can't let you continue." He requested Judy to go, emphasizing that respect was non-negotiable. Even if he knew his decision and had to put his family's safety and stability before enabling her to stay in his care. Even though Judy was a wake-up call. The family suffered emotionally as a result of Judy having to change her strategies when she left. While Mendy showed a great deal of shame despite holding on to his stance, Yandy talked to her close friends about the argument and expressed her displeasure with the continued hostility toward Judy for the mess she shared. "I've always made an effort to find solutions, but I can't stand this disrespect at home anymore." He told a close friend that even though he loved his mother, he couldn't let her hurt the person he had chosen to spend the rest of his life with. He started to question whether there was anything else he could have done. However, Judy turned to a support system to vent her irritation and anger because she felt disconnected from her child and believed Yandy was merely playing a game. As she revealed Yandy and Judy's situation, she sobbed, "I raised him. How can he choose me over him?" By highlighting how challenging it can be to find a balance in a blended family between love, loyalty, and respect. This dramatic incident has further complicated the ongoing story of the Harris family. Along with their immediate family, the final cast of Love and Hip Hop was also affected by the unrest. Other cast members from Atlanta shared their thoughts, with some supporting Yandy and others acknowledging Judy's perspective as a mother who feels left out. Throughout the season, viewers were interested in seeing if Judy and Yandy would reconcile or grow apart. Some hoped to see moments of healing, while others were skeptical due to the persistent issues that appeared to plague the household. The drama in this house is definitely far from over. And many people think that due to the ongoing problems, Yandy and Judy's future will not be easy. For years, they navigate the difficult terrain of love, dedication, and family obligations. On Love and Hip Hop New York, MC Harris and Yandy Smith are the perfect example of a solid, harmonious partnership. Despite many obstacles, such as MC's legal issues and a lengthy jail sentence, the couple stayed dedicated to one another as they negotiated the murky waters of fame, family, and criticism, receiving praise for their love. However, as is frequently the case in the entertainment industry, even though appearances can be deceiving, their ostensibly perfect relationship had problems that seemed to have become worse when M came clean. The first indication that something was wrong was when M posted mysterious messages on social media, implying that everything was wrong with his marriage. Fans guessed his messages' meanings, but no one could have predicted the storm. A few days later, Mendeecees published a video that stunned everyone. Mendeecees' purported MC claims that although Yandy and Carlos King, a producer famous for his work on popular reality TV shows, have a close working relationship, their relationship goes much beyond their professional relationship. To support his charges, MC produced copies of texts and emails he claimed were exchanged between Yandy and Carlos, using phrases like, "I can't stop thinking about you and our relationship." He said that these letters revealed a level of intimacy that transcends professional boundaries. Spending time together limits one's imagination, which feeds the flames. M also displayed other photos that he claimed were taken during private meetings between Yandy and Carlos. However, some contended the photos might be of innocent men. Clear picture was painted by C's perception. Mendy responded to these allegations by saying she was sorry that C had chosen to reveal their personal problems in a live-streamed video and by denying any misconduct. She freely acknowledged that she and Carlos King were close, despite her strong denials that they were romantically pals. Carlos has been both a friend and a mentor. Despite her denials, Yandy stated that it is unfair and uncomfortable to transform our work relationship into something it isn't. "I've always supported MDs through everything." As Yandy's tone indicated, so being accused in this manner feels like a betrayal of the trust we've developed as the allegations gathered traction. Carlos, in a well-written statement, King broke his silence and denied having an inappropriate connection with Yandy. "My relationship with Yandy has always been professional," he said. According to Carlos, these accusations are unfounded and unjustified. "I've worked with Yandy for years, and I've always respected her as a professional and a friend. I hope that Mendeecees and Yandy can resolve it privately." Carlos said he was disappointed to be drawn into a marital argument. Expanded, in addition to Mendeecees and Yandy's romance, their kids are currently the focus of a media frenzy after being featured on Love and Hip Hop several times. The couple has received advice to get aid from a number of friends and relatives. The pair's supporters are split. While some believe MC's claims based on the material he presented, others contend that Yandy should be given the benefit of the doubt due to her prior support of Mendeecees during his legal battle. Even if the particulars of this case are distinct, relationships that are being investigated frequently have underlying problems. For MCs like Yandy, fame, distance, and public attention can worsen pre-existing issues and cause new ones. Without a doubt, reality TV has made their current situation worse. and social media's impact cannot be disregarded when considering their concerns. Millions of individuals have been asked to comment on a very personal issue through public platforms. But the drama has escalated and raised questions about privacy in the digital transparent era. The future of Em and Yandy's relationship is uncertain at this time. Despite their shared belief that family should come first, they will find it difficult to reconcile. Once trust has been eroded, it is hard to restore. And the public knowledge of supporters' struggles further complicates matters. It is expected that many will notice that Yandy has moved on, whether the couple chooses to remain together or part ways peacefully. Their top priority will probably be to provide a secure environment for their kids. While they deal with the fallout from these disclosures, at first glance, it appeared to be a typical family meal, but the deadly evening soon became heated. Mendy says son broke the stillness and communicated the news with a mixture of wrath and frustration. The room fell silent as everyone sought to comprehend Yandy's assertion that you are to blame for Yandy cheating on you. The charge hung thick in the air, drawing everyone's attention to Mendeecees and Yandy, who denied it right away. The son persisted in accusing her of forsaking the family and blaming me for not being a strong enough parent or husband. Where is this even coming from? She questioned, her voice shaking with hurt and rage, fighting to maintain her composure. I was so shocked by his son's ludicrous remarks that I attempted to defuse the situation, but it continued. The conversation quickly heated up as he yelled, "You've always been so caught up in your own issues that you couldn't even see. What's been happening right under your nose?" His tone was calm but strained, and he attempted to control the son by raising his voice and demanding proof for the baseless accusation, saying, "If you're going to accuse Yandy of something this serious, you better have proof." The son became enraged when she replied, "Love this family. You've been tearing it apart and he's too blind to see it." The altercation became so intense that Mendy felt challenged as the leader of the household. Anger and resentment were met with emotional barbs and ambiguous clues. And Yandy lost control of her emotions and started crying. As Yandy gasped, others turned away, and the youngster, holding his face, stared at his father in shock at the seriousness of what had just transpired. In a fit of unbridled anger, he struck his son, causing the room to go silent. Mendy tried to suppress his emotions as he said, "I can't believe it's come to this," in a voice full of remorse. As she battled suffering, Yandy consoled him while still crying. The clearly distressed son packed his belongings and requested to leave. But son, far from a young man who was sorry, refused to back down and said, "I love you, but I can't let this kind of disrespect continue in my home." His voice was solemn but firm, and he decided to ask his son to leave, stating, "You need time to think about what you've done. Maybe some space will help you understand." They walked away without saying anything else. There was a tremendous deal of anxiety and silence in the days after the occurrence. Even though Yandy supported EM's choice, she couldn't hide her hurt, telling a friend, "I feel like I've lost a part of my family, and I don't know if we can ever heal from this." DC also struggled with his feelings, asking out loud, "Did I do the right thing?" and seeking comfort from his closest confidants. "I feel like a wicked husband and father because I have to defend my wife and my house." News of the family's problems circulated among Love and hip-hop fans. The father's remorse became overwhelming, and he realized that it would be difficult to mend his relationship with his child. Atlantans were quick to share their comments on social media, and the responses ranged from sympathy for MC's son to support, while some fans chastised him for using physical force, saying that striking your son is unacceptable. Another fan claimed that he had to take the necessary actions to keep his wife's respect. The dispute made it more difficult for the Harris family to deal with their private pain in the public eye, but Mendy remained dedicated to mending his family. This can't be allowed to happen. Read another comment. Regardless of the circumstance, because of the occurrence, some viewers questioned Yandy's role in the family dynamics. It might be too much for Yandy, who has always kept the family together. Many observes that Yandy's constant assistance and mediation attempts have turned into a burden for the family as the season goes on. After his son's absence, Yandy told a friend he went out to have an open discussion through shared ties. "We need to talk face to face and figure out how to move forward," he stated. "You both love each other. You just need to find a way to communicate without all the anger," she urged. Mace questioned Yandy about her decision, pointing out that the Harris family struggle is far from complete. The story continues to enthrall audiences by providing an honest and unvarnished look at the difficulties and successes of managing love and devotion in a blended family. And the dramatic encounter and its aftermath serve as a potent reminder of the complexities of family relationships. Yandy won't allow him to spoil her if her business is successful or if Mace becomes an even greater burden for them, both at the Grammy Awards and on their show Love and Hip Hop. Despite her promises of faithfulness and commitment, in the end, Yandy withdraws, behaving like a lost puppy who is always wandering, and she starts to understand that she is not dependent on Mace for anything. Her tenacious slyness is further demonstrated by the fact that she never submitted the required documentation for their marriage. Some people say children you didn't push or spit out will always end up like this. Yandy nurtured this adorable child by herself when his father was in jail, and this is what she gets in return. "You're playing too much with this child who isn't biologically yours," Mace clarifies. Yandy quits being the loyal wife when the cameras stop rolling. I hope you found this video entertaining. I hope to see you in the future. One is a tactic used by some to subtly express their dislike for you.